We are creating and we are live.
Are we live?
We are live. So believe it or not. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom to you online. As you can imagine, we have a lot to talk about today. Yes, it's been a very, very exciting 12 hours.
It has.
Yeah, in Israel, and probably everybody in the world knows that at this point. But first and foremost, let me welcome you to our weekly Bible study. Today is the 28th day of February, 2026, or the 11th day of the Jewish month of Adar. Yes, Adar, 5786. Good. And it is, of course, a Sabbath, so we say Shabbat Shalom, which means what?
Peaceful rest.
A peaceful rest. So I pray that Hashem, that the Lord will give everybody a peaceful rest tonight, except for our enemies. So, having done the introduction, we should open in prayer as always. Joshua, you're chomping at the bit to open in prayer?
Not particularly.
I'm joking, yeah, okay. So I'll open. Your question would be, where is my better half, my lovely wife? She's actually on the way back home, and she'll join us in a few minutes. So. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who has given us Shabbat, a beautiful symbol of your love for us, and your rest, which is found in Yeshua, the Messiah. I pray, God, that today all your people around the world, Jew and Gentile, would be able to taste your rest found in Yeshua. Lord, teach us to be intimate with you, to not play with sin, but instead, God, to take seriously our relationship with you and with each other. Teach us today as we study your word, and thank you so much for this opportunity to teach and to learn. B'Shem Yeshua Malkeinu, in the name of Jesus, our King. Amen. And that sound you hear behind you is the cat. So, gosh, where to begin?
Where to
begin? Yes, by the way, you're doing the broadcast monitoring. Are we coming through okay?
Yep, we're good.
Sound and everything?
Yep.
Awesome. All right. My voice is a bit weak. I've been a little bit under the weather in the past 24 hours, a bit of schmutz and things, so I apologize for that. But again, a lot going on. So let's dive into it. First and foremost, we have the war in Israel. We are back at war. And for anybody that doesn't know, about 12 hours ago, Israel struck Iran. And if anyone is maybe a little bit confused about where Iran is, here's our beautiful picture of the world. And right here, you can see it is the nation of Iran. It is ancient Persia, modern Iran. The capital of Iran is Tehran. It is in a difficult place right now. So, again, about 12 hours ago, Israel sent missiles over to Iran to strike the missile silos and the areas of nuclear uranium enrichment that Iran has been playing with. Now, Iran has been in negotiations with the United States saying, we're not going to do these things anymore. Give us a chance, bruh. And while they were in those negotiations, they were still enriching uranium and preparing missiles. So, like the Japanese who negotiated with President Franklin Roosevelt during the attack on Pearl Harbor, they were at the peace table while planning war. And that's exactly what Iran was doing. So Israel warned Iran and warned Iran and warned Iran, and finally we struck, we hit them. As soon as we did, the American military force that was in the Persian Gulf and in the Indian Ocean, the Arabian Sea, and over here in the Red Sea also struck Iran. So as we speak, thousands of missiles back and forth are flying between Iran and Israel. Now, Iran also struck back at our U.S. military bases throughout the Middle East. So not just Iran has been hit by Israel, but Iran has struck Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Doha, Kuwait, Jordan. It's a mess. But Iran really is the fulcrum of all this garbage, this mishigas, this craziness. So once we take down the regime in Iran and the people of Iran rise up to take this opportunity to bring freedom and democracy again to their country, the war will be over because the antagonist will be gone. So this is Ynet News. It's a news outlet from Israel. It's pretty balanced. It's better than Haaretz. Don't get me started about that news site. And it's talking about the continuing develops in this war that has started. Interestingly, we got news a couple of hours ago that the Ayatollah Khomeini, the evil leader of Iran, and he absolutely was evil, is dead.
Has it been confirmed?
It has been confirmed. The Iranian government has just said he will be replaced by Iranian officials now. So the Ayatollah Khomeini, the enemy of Israel, the Haman, if you will, during this time of year for our people, is dead. Now the Bible says, "Do not rejoice when your enemy is destroyed. Otherwise, God may turn away His wrath from your enemies." Um, so part of me wants to go, Baruch Hashem, thank God the Ayatollah is dead. But another part of me is like, okay, he stands before God now. He has to be judged. I would not want to be him.
But the Bible also says when people rejoice when wicked men perish.
Right. So we need to acknowledge what happened without dancing in the streets. Although if I was in Iran right now, I'd probably be dancing in the streets.
Yeah.
So are they? So the Ayatollah is dead. Thanks God. But the Iranian government, the evil regime, is still in power, and that's the problem. So the war continues even as we speak. And that is why the Israeli defense chief has said that there will be an unprecedented campaign ahead. Even though the head has been cut off, the snake exists, and we have to kill the whole thing. So, President Trump last night of the United States made a speech about midnight Eastern Standard Time talking about the necessity of this war. And it was a pretty good speech. I'm not trying to make this political. I'm not like, yay, President Trump. But I think the actions against Iran were not only necessary, but timely. Ynet does have the opportunity to give us live updates. For example, this update was from 13 minutes ago, just to tell us what's going on. So I recommend that you avail yourself of this site. It's balanced, it's pretty good. So that's sort of taken up everything. That's the big attention thing right now. Interestingly, as well, in the midst of all this, Iran, the government, has closed the Strait of Hormuz. What is the Strait of Hormuz, and why does it matter to us?
One of the biggest commerce transportation rivers, may I say.
Yeah, in the world.
Mhm.
20% of all the oil on Earth goes through the Strait of Hormuz. And Iran, the evil government, has closed that down. They're saying, nope, you're not going to go through that anymore. They're trying to freeze oil to the rest of the world in hopes that our allies will put pressure on the United States and Israel to stop the war.
Mm.
Well, that's it's too late for that. We've stepped up to the bell, we've rung it, and it is still ringing. Interestingly, despite the fact they closed that, one of the largest aircraft carriers on Earth from the United States is in the Arabian Sea, just not far from the Strait of Hormuz. And my question would be, is the United States going to force that open again?
Hopefully.
Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see. So it's been a very exciting 12 hours. I've gotten not so much sleep, up all night trying to monitor things. And Iran has launched a lot of missiles, of course, at Israel, and some of them, unfortunately, have gone through. So Israel has had a few casualties, not a lot, thank God, less than a dozen, but there is some damage from certain places in Israel, Tel Aviv, um, and other areas. So,
Also, from what it appears, Qatar and Saudi Arabia saw hostilities towards Iran.
well,
Because of
that's
attacks.
because Iran attacked Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia. Like,
Mm.
oh, you heard about that?
I was literally telling Josh, I told Josh that Saudi Arabia declared a state of war on Iran. Josh was like, what, why? And I was like, apparently they're bombing each other.
They're bombing each other. So it's been a very exciting 12 hours, and nobody who's been in combat ever wants combat. We don't wish for war ever.
Well, there was a saying, I forgot who says it, but it's those who, was it those who wish for war have never seen it, or something like that.
That's very, very true. That's very true. Um, Having said that, sometimes there is no alternative, and Iran for 49 years has been a thorn in the side of the world, and they've just been getting worse and worse, and now they won't. The Prince Pahlavi, who is the son of the old Shah of Iran before the revolution in 1979, has made several statements online and in public, and he told the people of Iran that even if the internet is down in that country, and it's spotty right now, that he will communicate with them through radio. Because it's 1950 again, and that's what we need to do to encourage them, to let them know he's on his way, and a new government will be in place where people can be free. He also told the people of Iran that if they so wished, they could vote him out of power and elect their own leader. He just wants them to freely choose their leadership. So, very exciting times. As my wife said earlier today, we are living in the midst of history right now.
No. You've been living in the midst of history for the past 10 years. I'm tired.
You're tired of making history? I'm afraid there's just more on the way. The official name of the campaign, of course, as you saw on your screen, is Operation Roaring Lion from Israel, and so far we've met with nothing but great successes. Anything else about that we should talk about before we?
You know, the entire American side, which did the majority of the lifting there.
Well, actually, we did mention them, right? That the United States military, the Navy, and the Air Force
Also,
moved in as soon as Israel launched the first
Fiat
attack.
Policing doesn't name America. It's Epic Fury.
Yeah.
Which is a bit stupid, but it's fine.
I don't know. Somebody in some board meeting came up with that, but it's sort of cool. Yeah.
I thought it was dumb to wait till for Israel to make the first move.
I think President Trump did that because he didn't want to be accused of starting this.
Yeah, fair enough. But he said he's going to do something. Gotta go through it.
I know. He said it a month ago.
Yeah.
This is a month late. Maybe he should have done this before. 36,000 protesters in Iran were brutally slaughtered by their government.
No, make an omelet. No, I was kidding.
Oh boy.
No.
Yeah, that's let's not. Yeah, that's bad. Okay. And even as we speak, you see the headlights here that are coming through live. 200 Israeli jets strike 500 targets in Iran. So yes, while the United States is doing heavy lifting, so is Israel right now. Israel as well is starting to prepare for possible ground invasion. A lot of the missile sites in Iran have been destroyed, thank God, not all of them. But they're now afraid that Iran, with the cooperation of Iraq, and Iraq, as you know, is that country that's just west of Iran, would actually try to go and prompt a ground invasion in parts of Israel with the help of Hezbollah in the north and Hamas in the Gaza Strip, both of which are funded by Iran.
I think they're bringing back suicide vest bombers.
Are they
I
real?
saw the other day that it was one of those countries. I think
That wouldn't surprise me. So we're not out of the woods yet. It's a good start. It's a strong start for Israel and the United States and for the freedom of the people of Iran, but we still have a ways to go. Anything else about that we should talk about?
No, I feel like Ben and Mom would have a lot to say, but
Yeah. Arguing with each other as they usually do, but they're both on their way back. So, all right. On that note, then, other news this week, which almost seems, a sideline at this point, but it's really not, is this week in anti-Semitism. So, anybody have any news about anti-Semitism this week?
well, it wasn't my main focus recently.
So there's a wonderful website that I like to use called Holding Anti-Semites Accountable and Stop Anti-Semitism, stopantisemitism.org. You can see it on your screen there. And on that website, they name their anti-Semite of the week. Because every week there's somebody else on social media, usually, spouting and fomenting hatred against Jews, against Israel, and against Zionist philosophies. So this week, that ignominious honor goes to Nadia Asensio. Nadia Asensio, I don't know a lot about her, but she is helping to foment this continuing thing, the push of BDS. What is BDS?
Boycott, divest, sanction.
Yeah, sanction whom? Israel. Boycott Israel, divest Israel, sanction Israel, they're saying, which is obviously a stupid and evil thing to do. And they're just doing that because they're people who are throwing little tantrums about the Jewish people. So she has a YouTube platform, obviously, and she urges her many followers, up to 100,000 subscribers, to hate Israel. And this week, she really clamped down on the thought that the United States is controlled by Israel, that we control.
And that's why
we control the U.S.
We're barely helping them at all.
And that's why why President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu have had some sharp words for each other in the past 8 months. Yes, and that's why the United States has hedged on some of its support for Israel in the past year. Yeah. So this crazy woman, and she is crazy, continues just to feed this garbage. Now, having said that, there may be some even in our own family who believe that to be true. What do you guys think?
No.
What do you think about the statement or the fact of the statement?
What do you think of the statement that Israel controls the United States?
Oh.
So,
So you agree with Nadia that Israel controls the United States?
Please, I don't agree with anyone even out here.
So this has been an anti-Semitic trope for almost 35 years, on and off. And ever since the October 11th attacks, October 11th, October 7th attacks in 2023, this, again, all of anti-Semitism, as well as this stupid lie, have just exploded.
I joke, but realistically, they don't control the United States, but they do have a frick ton of influence, though.
Well, I don't know how you measure a frick ton of influence. What's the metric for that?
2.5 of those giant shipping containers.
2.5. You should start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Measure things by shipping containers.
Exactly.
And Israel does have a lobby trying to lobby Congress to help get laws passed that are pro-Israel. Absolutely. Like China, Russia, Palestine, Germany, the United Kingdom. And what's interesting is although Israel has poured millions of dollars into their lobby, China has poured billions of dollars into their lobby, as has Russia.
I mean, that's the money is not a fair comparison because China's a significantly better off nation than Israel.
I think the money is a more accurate comparison than a freight logo, a freight
that's
cart. That is.
correct.
So the point being, of course, you always follow the money, go where the money is. So yes, Israel is trying to influence Congress like every nation does, right? Most of the nations that have the most influence in our country, and if you ever want to verify that, just look at history, are Russia and China, who together are pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into their lobby groups, and they have many each to try to influence the laws. So, does Israel have lobby groups for Congress? Yes. Is Israel the most influential one? No. That sound you hear right now is a sound from the Home Command in Israel saying that Israel is currently under alert for another incoming missile attack. I will leave that on during our Bible study to let you know what's going on. Joshua.
No, no.
Nothing. Oh, okay. So it's, yeah, again, very interesting. Anything else before we move on to our Bible study?
Oh.
And that sound you hear in the distance is my lovely wife and other two children who are also beloved returning. So it's going to be a little chaotic, a little loud here. Anyway. All right. So again, as we continue through our Bible study today, we'll just bring you current updates as well. So I'll ask you to be on top of that.
Yeah.
When the alarm goes off, just to let us know what's in the line of sight and what areas under alert. Meanwhile, it is the 11th of Adar, and Adar is the month of the Jewish calendar that's right before Nisan. Nisan is the first month of the Jewish year, according to Scripture. God is the boss, and that's what He said, so it is so. Now, we celebrate our civil New Year. Remember that Israel, or the Jewish culture in general, has many New Years, right? We have a civil New Year, which is usually September, Rosh Hashanah. We have a religious New Year, and that is the one from Scripture, from the book of Exodus, which is the first of Nisan. So, because of that, not only is Adar considered a month of joy, because we're looking forward to the new year and to Nisan, and what major Jewish holidays in Nisan?
Passover?
Pesach.
Okay.
Yeah, Passover, good. And the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? And the Feast of First Fruits are all sort of right there together. But also, Adar has its own celebratory holiday, not a high holy day. This is not one ordained by God, but rather one that God caused by bringing us victory over our enemies. How timely. And what is the name of the holiday this month?
Purim.
Purim. Now, in the diaspora, in the Galut, Jews outside the state of Israel, we say Purim. However, if we were in Israel, we would say Purim. Purim. We put the emphasis on first syllable. So either one is correct. And Purim is a Hebrew word that means what?
Lots.
Lots. Like, I have lots of donuts or lots of bagels.
Yes.
What does
No.
lots mean?
Like dice.
Yeah, like dice or something that you would cast, right?
Mhm.
Excellent. Hello, Benjamin. Oh, thank you. They also brought me a delicious coffee, to which I'm looking forward. All right. So this is actually coming up this month. Does anybody know when Purim actually starts?
14th of Adar, right?
Thank you. I can open it. The 14th of Adar
Midnight.
not at midnight.
No.
Sundown.
Sundown.
All of our days start at sundown, right? All of our days in the Jewish calendar start at sundown. So, sundown on the 14th, which is 3 days from now, the festival or holiday of Purim will begin. So, thank you, Yosef, for doing that. So, having said this, what is this holiday? Where does it come from? What does it celebrate? And I know we talk about this every year, but every year someone new is watching our teachings and they may not know. Number one. And number two, what are the spiritual implications and the modern implications of this holiday?
Victory.
Can you give me more?
Victory and persistence of the Jewish people.
Okay. Okay. So, where in the Bible would we find this holiday mentioned?
Esther.
Esther. All right. So, let's go there. So, in the book of Esther, and that's where the whole thing comes from. Now, as we go there, Purim is a very special holiday in my heart as well, because it was on Purim in the year 1990, on obviously the Gregorian calendar, not the Jewish calendar, because it wouldn't have been the year 1990 at the time. But it was on Purim, the actual Jewish holiday, that I got born again. I got saved. And I didn't even know it was Purim at the time. I found out later. So that is very, very, very cool. So very special holiday for me. I know you guys didn't necessarily know that. Yeah, you're like, yeah, we don't. But I just, it's very cool. Why isn't it giving me the Book of Esther? Let me do the pull down here. Esther Nehemiah. There we go. All right. I'm going to try to make it big for you here. Now, obviously, we're not going to read the entire Book of Esther today. We don't have time.
Let's do it.
But I would like someone, Yosef or Yehoshua, to please read the first 2 verses of Esther for me, please. Joshua has his mouth full of bagel, and Yosef is shy.
I don't even got it.
Oh, it's right here.
I can do it.
Thank you. Awkward pause, dead air.
Sorry.
All right.
Now it came to pass of the days of Ahasuerus. This was Ahasuerus who reigned over 127 provinces, from India to Ethiopia. In those days when King Ahasuerus sat on the throne of his kingdom, which was in Susan the citadel.
Okay, and we'll leave there. That's our introduction, right? Okay, so in 2 minutes or less, right? Because you guys again have been doing Purim your entire life. Hello, Fana. The mic is on, so anybody can talk as English. Yep. Hello. In 2 minutes, actually, your mom's gonna send everything.
Easy, Jack.
So she can help place it. But you can sit on the couch. So thank you. In 2 minutes or less, somebody tell me what Purim is all about.
Jewish woman named Esther.
Well, one at a time. Okay, Anna, go ahead.
Esther. It's like a story of Esther.
Esther? Who is Esther? And is that her real name?
No.
Well, that's what.
Oh, and my lovely wife is back. Hello. Thank you for getting coffees.
It wasn't before. It wasn't until she became the queen.
So okay, so we're talking about let's set the setting. Let's set the scene here. First of all, it's the days of Xerxes or Ahasuerus. Who the heck is that?
He was the king.
King of Syria, Paula.
Okay, king of Syria, Persia. Right. So what was Syria, Persia?
It's modern day Iran.
How interesting. It's modern day Iran, really.
Mm-hmm.
So you are telling me that Syria, Persia is Iran, right?
Yes.
And actually, the ruins of the palace where this whole thing took place, because it's a true story, are still there today. You can actually walk where Esther walked and where Mordecai walked, and you can go into the throne room where Xerxes was sitting. It's really, really, really cool. I'd love to do that. Okay, so this is interesting. And that's blocking my way here, so I have to move the clock. So when did this happen, approximately?
I've never actually given that thought.
Should we look it up?
Yes.
We can even ask AI now, because AI is a tool
No.
everybody loves, right? And there we have a red alert again. Givat Chen, Rana, and Ornit, Eyal, and several other towns are currently under alert for missiles from Iran. So may God protect all the folks there right now. While he's looking that up, I just have to share with you guys. It's really hard for me to sit here and just announce that. I want to be in Israel right now. I want to be helping people and doing what I can. And I know I'm an old fat guy, and you guys are the young, strong men and women, and that's your current role in life, and this is mine. But I feel like I'm being useless here. I want to fly to Israel and let's get this done. Unfortunately, all flights are canceled right now.
Oh.
Yeah, so because it's a war.
Anywho,
So getting back to our Bible study.
54th century BC.
About what?
About the 4th to 5th century BC.
4th to 5th century BC. When was the Babylonian exile? About the 6th century BC.
Was it 6th century?
Yeah, about the 5th to 6th. So we know when we as a people went into the exile in Babylon, this is about 100 years later, right? 100 years toward us. So that explains how the Jewish people ended up in Shushan, in the palace of Shushan, in that town, in that area, and of course throughout the entire area of the world at the time. Because Babylon had been taken over by this time by Xerxes, the leader of the Persians. Yeah, because it's just war after war in the Middle East, as it has been for 5,000 years. Take your pick. Ever since Noah's flood. Ma'am.
Just how many wars did they have back then?
I would say thousands, honestly, between tribes and nations.
I would Yeah, probably 1.3 times 10 to the 18th, Hannah. I have no idea. There's just been war after war after war after war. Ever since Noah's flood and Samaria was built up, and there was Tower of Babel, then Samaria, and just war, sir.
Vicky Fuller says, I'm here.
Vicky Fuller? I don't know Vicky Fuller. I know a Vicky Gottlieb.
She didn't say the username.
I know she has a username.
But what about we had to change it?
We had to change it. Yes, we did.
Next is
I just don't take change.
You should change it to von Gottlieb. That would be a royal title in Germany. That's nobility.
I know Vaughn is a
It's a nobility marker. Yes. Okay, so this takes place where modern day Iran is currently being defeated. Its evil regime. Very interesting. Very timely.
Yeah.
So it's mentioned in the Book of Esther. We're about the 4th to 5th century BC, right? What was Esther's real name?
Hadassah, right?
Yes, Hadassah. Well, good. Well, good. Well done. 4th to 5th century. CE means century, just so everyone knows. BC. And I do not say BCE because that's stupid. It's the same timeline. They just changed the letters to get Jesus out of it. So BC means before Christ, right? And Esther's real name was Hadassah. What does Hadassah mean?
I don't know.
Lovely name. Very famous in the history of the modern state of Israel.
New.
Means what?
No, doesn't mean new.
means used. Well, open box.
You're bored.
Oh, mortal.
Means what?
Mortal.
Myrtle.
Mortal.
Yeah. It's also the name of in the early reformation of the state of Israel in the 1940s, it was the name of a group of girls and women who would fight for and support the new burgeoning state. So Hadassah, it's still around today, by the way, Hadassah's women's group, all over Israel. So what does Esther mean?
I think it was Hosen based on one of the gods, right?
Okay, so it means star, right? And some believe that actually means it's short for Ishtar,
This time, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Which is what?
It was an ancient goddess, star goddess, really.
Yeah. Who was also the goddess of beauty and fertility. All right. So interesting history here. So now 2 minutes, because I interrupted you. I apologize. Give me a summation of what probably is. Anybody, I don't care.
Mordecai disrespected Haman. Haman was like,
Whoa, gotta stop here. Who the heck is Mordecai?
you can't expect me to do it in 2 minutes.
Well, that's a goal. Yeah, now you have a minute.
Okay,
55 seconds.
old Jewish grape from
Okay.
disrespected Haman, who was basically the right hand of a king of Ahasuerus. This was disrespected by Mordecai, so Haman, being radical than he was, said, "Oh, all Jews must be like this. Let's kill them all." So he got the king to sign an order to kill all the Jews on a certain day, and Esther managed to overturn that for the king, and Haman got executed.
That was actually very impressive. Less than a minute. Okay, Hannah, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would say Esther's cousin.
Was he
Mordecai.
cousins?
Esther's cousin.
Cousins, and he was not her uncle. So there were the Jews. Of course, we were in diaspora. We were in Galut throughout the Persian Empire. There were a few Jews still left in Jerusalem. There's always been a Jewish presence. Always been a Jewish presence in the Holy Land since we entered after the Exodus. One or two families, maybe, very persecuted, but we've always been there, even when it was under control of the Ottoman Empire and later the British Mandate. So, Purim is a holiday that marks this whole thing about Esther and Mordecai and Haman and all this stuff and King Xerxes. So, who was Esther? We know her name was Hadassah. She was a cousin of Mordecai. Why is she special?
Because he saved the Jewish
He
race.
became the queen.
How did she save our race?
He became the queen.
How did she become queen?
Playing code games of Haman and the king,
I
and
thought there was a singing contest.
there was a singing contest.
What's on your screen right now is VeggieTales' famous. Hello, welcome back. VeggieTales' famous movie cartoon called Esther, the girl who became queen, and it is. Yeah, I mean, it's a great cartoon, first of all. But second of all, the history is not so bad about summing up what happened in the Book of Esther.
I love how Jews or Hebrews all said at all once in that movie.
Oh, they're what? Not what?
Jews or Hebrews are not said once.
Not once. Nope. We're just the
Vegetable.
What are vegetables? I guess
Also,
everybody's a vegetable.
Also, interestingly, Esther, I believe.
When people use juice box for juice,
Yeah, the juice
I
box.
hate that. My God,
Also, if I remember correctly, Esther's the only book of the Bible where God is not mentioned.
There are a few books. There are 3 books of the Bible where the Lord's name, and by the Lord's name we mean the Yotevave, his sacred name that he bequeathed upon himself and said, "This is who I am" to humanity, are not mentioned. That's Esther, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Solomon. So all 3 of them are very interesting. So yeah, that's a rarity. But Esther, this Jewish girl, became queen. How? And why did we care? What happened? Here's here's King Xerxes. He was a dude, and what happened to his queen?
Vashti would make a sandwich.
Well, why not?
That's like that.
Keep it PG, shall we? Vashti would make him a sandwich, so you banished her from the kingdom.
Okay, so King Xerxes had a queen named Vashti, and King Xerxes, according to the book Esther, was throwing this massive party. Today, party culture is overtaking our country. It's all right, and people are doing raves and getting stupid and drinking and having sex. But that is nothing compared to the party that King Xerxes threw. His party lasted 6 months. Right.
I feel like I'll just get dull after.
And it was drinking and it was sex and it was entertainment and it was all this stuff.
The king of the universe.
And in the midst of this revelry, his wife, who was renowned for her beauty, was called to the party, right? Because she was having her own little thing with all the ladies of the kingdom, all the noble ladies, rich ones. And the king was like, "Hey, young wifey of mine, why don't you come and show your beauty to the dudes over here in the throne room?" And she said,
No.
no.
That's the king.
Yeah.
Women's rights.
Well, Benjamin brings up a good point. King Xerxes, like most ancient kings, wasn't just a king, he was worshipped as a god. And you don't say no to a god, right? If you do, bad things happen. So King Xerxes, I don't know how he was not drunk enough or not drunk to make these decisions, but he met with his loyal noble leaders and he said, "What should we do?" And they said, "We got to do something, because if women of the kingdom hear that your own wife disobeyed you, then they're going to disobey their husbands. It'll be chaos. We can't have women doing what they want to do." Benjamin's clever.
I'm getting in the mindset of the 6th century BC.
Oh, well, there we go.
Guys, right?
Okay, so King Xerxes, in his drunken haze, agreed, and he banished his queen. He didn't kill her because he loved her,
That surprised me.
but he banned. Yeah, I was surprised.
I'm sure it is, but when I was taking history, I read that it was very poor form for emperors to kill their wives, because
Interesting.
even Alexander the Great would spare the wives of the kings he killed.
Yeah, but he was sleeping with guys too, so I'm not sure how big of an honor that was.
I guess he was protected as well.
Yeah.
No, what I'm saying is there was that honor code of you're not supposed to kill your wife, or you're not supposed to kill your enemy's wife.
Nobody told Herod the Great.
Well, obviously,
Hero.
it's like anyone following
Any Roman emperor.
Right. But it was sort of a unspoken.
What king knows?
That's interesting.
French.
Or yeah. Okay. So King Ahasuerus or King Xerxes, same person here. Ahasuerus is the Hebrew title given to him, and Xerxes is the historic term for that king. He banished her, and then, right, he was without a wife, really. So, like any self-respecting king, he essentially kidnaps all the women of the kingdom who are beautiful, right? He sends his guards out, and they have to come to the palace, and he has to try them on for size, essentially, and see which one he likes the best, because he's a king, and that's what he can do. So there was a singing contest, right? To see which wife is best, right?
Yep. Definitely. Let's just
Definitely, that's how it worked.
there are children.
I thought it was always for the one for puppies. Puppy song.
Yeah.
That one was ridiculous.
And the Bible's actually very clear about this. I don't know why. I've never heard anybody teach about what Esther actually had to do to become queen.
And she didn't want to do
She didn't want to do
but
it.
she is forced
Yeah.
because she would have been killed.
Yes,
And the whole thing would have been started earlier.
absolutely.
you know.
So the king, of course, did not know that Esther was Jewish. And her cousin Mordecai, represented by a
Uncle.
cousin.
Is it a cousin for
Cousin, yep. Cousin Mordecai, represented here by a P, dressed up in a policeman's uniform, because that's very common in ancient Persia. He told her, "Don't tell anybody you're Jewish, whatever you do." Why did he tell her that?
Because the Jews were going to be
To
executed.
keep it
No, this is way before.
Because the Jews were oppressed.
like Haman.
Way before Haman did his thing.
He wanted to keep it a secret.
The Jews were oppressed.
Babylon was where
This is Persia.
because well Babylon, Persia, right? They were one.
I mean, yeah, the Persians took over Babylon.
So they were. This was a land where Jewish people were made slaves. Were held captive, and we didn't have a very good history with Babylon or Persia.
Yeah.
And so he was afraid that it would, cause a
that she would get rejected or worse.
yeah,
So
killed. Yeah.
Even at this time in ancient Persia, we were not a numerous people. There weren't a lot of us, right? So when Esther or Hadassah was taken to be amongst this group of women to audition, if you will, for the king, Mordecai was like, "Don't tell them. Who knows what happened to you, right? They don't like us." A common theme throughout history, unfortunately. And I'm not playing the martyr here. It's just reality, right? This is the history of our people. So we all know the rest of the story. Esther went into the king that night and ordered eggs and bacon kosher the next day, and the king loved her more than any other woman and took her as his queen. Point of order here. Was the Torah around as a law at this time?
Yes.
Yes.
What does the law say about having unmaritable intimate relations between a grown man and grown woman?
Don't do it.
Towards music.
The law of Moses,
Oh, yeah.
the Torah. Yeah.
Well, if a woman is found not being a virgin when she's married, I think that she can be stoned, if I remember correctly, or has to live with her parents for the rest of her life, and she can never marry or.
So it's a couple of situations, right? For example, if she's being raped and she cries out and no one hears her, she's innocent, and the man dies.
Right. Good.
Yeah. If she's being raped and she does not cry out, they both die. Right. If she's being raped and someone does hear her and she gets saved, then obviously the person who saved her and she are fine, and the man still dies.
Right.
Don't rape anybody. Good advice.
Keep it in.
Keep some self-control. All of us need to learn that, right?
So, what's it called? The more you know.
The more you know. Yes. In our modern culture,
Just watch the neighborhood episode.
The dark Mr. Rogers.
And I mean, Esther was sort of forced, right, to do this. It wasn't like she really wanted to, and it wasn't like he just grabbed these women and randomly had them. They were prepared for a year before they met the king, and they were given spices and fragrances, and they had women and waiting up for them, and they were like pseudo royalty. She was even assigned a eunuch, right, a man who was specially given to her, not for intimate relations, but to help prepare her for her presentation in the court before the king. Sir,
something funny that I just thought of right now when you say eunuch was again, this is just from one history class. I don't know how true it is, but when being conquered, usually eunuchs were off limits, but concubines were free game, which is the funniest thing ever.
I did not know that.
Like eunuchs had some kind of like
Position or something.
They didn't really pose a threat.
I guess.
That's true.
But it's funny is that they would off, they would off the concubines, but they would keep the eunuchs. That's funny to me.
That makes sense because the concubines could procreate and continue the line in which they
and
are.
eunuchs were just
Eunuchs have they can't
do much of
populate,
anything concerning that. Yeah. After a year, Esther was ready. She was presented. You know how things went from there. The Torah also says, right, she was forced, right? So technically it was rape.
She did not cry.
She did not cry out, right?
She has to die.
She didn't have much of a choice. I mean,
She didn't have a choice.
Rape is if they scream, it's still not. Whether they scream or not, it's not their fault.
It's not their fault.
It isn't their
Whether
fault.
they
I mean,
But the Torah is saying that if a woman's in that position, she needs to do everything in her power to resist.
I understand, but
It's a violation.
But we're not just talking about Joe Schmo on the corner, that grabs you and throws you in the alley.
This is the king of
someone who can wipe you and your whole family out. Plus, Mordecai was the
kingdom.
king.
Oh, so that's another point. So Mordecai actually worked in the palace, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah, he was one of the guards, if you will.
So we're not. I mean, they probably know that he was not a, compassionate, loving king.
Right.
Not until after Esther.
Well, you make a good point. Xerxes is not renowned for his kindness. Right. He was violent. He was polytheistic. He was cruel.
And a lot of people do things.
Sorry, say again.
A lot of people do things out of fear.
Mm.
Like we often wonder why people do things under duress, but really fear plays a big role in the perpetrator relies on fear to play it to allow them to do what they need to do. And so she was probably and she was young though, right? I mean, she was not.
I mean, she was probably a teenager.
She wasn't
She wasn't. No, she wasn't 25. She was probably 13, 14. Yeah.
So I mean,
He's the king.
if I was 13 and 14 and someone took me in a foreign place or palace,
Not just somebody, but the actual supreme ruler, if you will, on Earth. Yeah.
there'd be no way I'd be able to fight back.
Xerxes was one of the world leaders at the time. His kingdom was one of the most powerful for that short period of time. And what's interesting to me is that despite the fact there was a violation here, right? There was a breaking of the Torah. God used this whole situation. Does that mean that even today, if we are in sin or if somebody else is in sin and they're not repenting, if you're in sin, you need to repent, right? Me, you, all of us. But if they don't, can God still use that broken, wicked situation for benefit?
Yes, definitely.
He does all the time, right? Sin is not greater than God. Evil is not greater than God's ability. So that's not an excuse to go out and just do what you want and sin, and God will use it, because sin also kills and destroys. So,
but how much more can He use you if you are
obedient,
the right side of God?
Absolutely,
right?
Absolutely. So, it's a fascinating aspect of Purim that there was wickedness and violation here, but God still brought it for good. So, after that, of course, then we're introduced to the character of Haman. Who is Haman? What does his name mean? And what did he do?
Haman was like a pale, and he
was
walked.
No, I think
Haman's a god.
He's a god.
He's a
He's
god.
a
Yeah.
god, I believe.
And everybody's like, "What are you talking about?" Haman, right up here is Haman. You can see little Haman. He has that stash right there.
It's a classic. What's up?
That's a classic.
He was the right hand man of the king.
Yes.
Okay, so he's like an advisor.
Yeah.
Yeah, to King Xerxes. Haman's not in that picture. Let's find one. That's the best picture we got of the gourd Haman and the style in that hat and stash. And he was very influential, very powerful, right? It's still true today. World leaders can be influenced most by the people around them. So if I had a choice of being a world leader or someone who was an advisor to a world leader, I'd rather be the advisor. I'd probably have more influence than being the world leader himself, which I'm not, obviously. So Haman, I mean, was he Jewish? Was he Persian? What's his story? And would you look up the meaning of his name, please?
I think he was Persian.
He was Persian.
And he was a avid hater of Mordecai.
Why did Haman hate Mordecai?
Well, Mordecai had begun. Well, Haman, I would say, was a very prideful person, and he wanted to be like the most important person to the king.
What? A guy in politics who's overly ambitious?
And,
it's not so.
Mordecai had thwarted a assassination attempt against Xerxes, and so that kind of spawned jealousy, and so then he went back and talked to his wife. Of course, he had, like the Lord says, wise counsel is good, but he had very bad counsel because his wife and friends were like, well, then get rid of Mordecai.
Okay.
That's the problem. And so
this is interesting. So you piled a lot on top of us. And again, we're covering the whole, no, it's good. We're covering the whole book of Esther here in a few minutes. Here's a picture of an artist's reconstruction, and this is archaeologically based, so it's very accurate, of the palace in ancient Shushan.
No, that made me dizzy. Let's go for the hallways.
And it is two things when I see this. I'm like, wow, look at this thing. And two, I could build this in Minecraft.
Yeah, it's
very cute, but I could probably do that in Minecraft.
that's funny. That's the first thing you think.
And yes, I'm a 55-year-old man, highly educated, and I still love Minecraft. It's like endless Legos. It is, thank you. But the point I'm making here, of course, is having studied this before in the past, right here is something called the Hall of Columns. And this was a beautiful, beautiful, pillared hallway where dignitaries from all around the world would be received. They would present gifts to the king. And it was intimidating and awe-inspiring all at once. And then if you go straight back to this area back here, this was a throne room. So from the hall, if you stood in the right spot, you could look all the way back, like a eighth of a mile, or whatever. It's a huge palace, and you could see the throne room way, way back there. And you had this very intimidating approach to the king walking down this procession, which plays into our story later, as you know. So Haman was the right-hand man to the king. Mordecai worked in the palace, like a lot of other Jews did as well. But again, they didn't know they were Jewish, they being the authorities. And there was an assassination plot against Xerxes. And Mordecai found out about it, and he told Esther. And Esther told the king, and the assassins were taken to the island of perpetual tickling.
That's right.
Yes. You got to watch the VeggieTales thing. But they were killed, obviously.
Yes.
The people who threatened the king. Yes, you do. It's a good one. We have to watch it during Purim.
Mhm.
After that, the king did what for Mordecai?
Throw him a great parade.
No.
Oh, he did nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, that's
Because he forgot about it.
Mordecai saved the king's life. And the king was like, fine, pizza anybody? He did nothing, right? The guy delivering the pizza would have to go through the great hall.
Well, the scribe wrote it down.
Well, yes, and that was actually very common in ancient city-states and ancient kingdoms. Every word, every act the king ever did was always recorded, because there was also a vast library in this area that recorded everything of the kings as a running history of the kingdom. And we actually still have some of those records today. So nothing happened, and then life just went on until what happened between Haman and Mordecai.
Mordecai. Oh,
Well, I have to say that they had an argument.
Why?
They had
Mordecai. Oh.
Mordecai, Haman. He was evil back then.
Mordecai was evil back then?
Mordecai refused to bow down to Haman because Haman had an ego.
Okay, so Haman had an ego. He wanted Mordecai to bow to him, to show respect to him, just like Mordecai would bow to the king, and Haman obviously had king aspirations. So Mordecai said, no, I bow only to God and the king. I don't bow to you. You're just a lackey. Haman got furious. Haman put out an edict because Haman found out that Mordecai was Jewish. Don't know how, but he knew. So Haman put out this edict saying what?
That he should go to the
Mordecai.
Yeah.
No. Oh, no. An edict. Mordecai put out an edict?
Haman put out an edict saying what?
Oh yeah, there's a day coming.
All Jews would die.
Every Jew in the entire Persian country, all 127 provinces, will die.
I
Why?
think that was after the Mordecai was acknowledged by the king.
No, not yet. So Haman put out this edict, and he had the king sign it because he had influence over the king, that all Jews will be attacked on a certain day and destroyed by their neighbors and whatever, because Haman got his feelings hurt from Mordecai, you know? Politics seems to attract people who are incredibly insecure and mentally unstable. So, not every politician, but we're seeing a lot of history here. So, unfortunately, that was the case. Mordecai found out. He took the edict to Queen Esther, because in the palace, and I can tell you this is true, having worked in the White House for a few years, it's completely isolated from the real world, right? You can still spend your whole life in the palace and have no clue what's going on outside. It's the same in the White House.
So, talk to Marie Antoinette.
Oh, touche. So Mordecai let Esther know, and Esther was like, great, thanks for letting me know. What am I going to do about it? And what did Mordecai say?
Go to the king.
Go to the king, who knows that you weren't raised to your position for such a time as this, to save your people. And she said, if anybody goes to the king without being invited by the king, then
You'll die.
you die. So she fasted about it. She didn't just rush in, she fasted and prayed. She was scared.
Well, she asked everybody to fast and pray.
Absolutely. So there was a massive fast throughout the 127 provinces, right? And getting word throughout them. And she asked every Jewish person to fast and pray for her that she wouldn't die, which makes me believe she probably had seen the king kill a lot of people.
Probably.
She was scared of him.
Yeah.
So we know the rest is history. She went before him. He extended his scepter to her in favor. He did not kill her because he liked her. And she told him, right? And what happened to Haman?
He
He and his family got
on his own gallows.
Yeah, the king was like, what? You're going to try to kill my wife and her family? Because he didn't know they were Jewish, he being the king. And Haman was like, no, I didn't know Esther was Jewish. Oh, no, I'm all freaking out. And then he threw himself on Esther's bed, crying out for mercy. And the king came back in after he had to go outside. He was just so mad. Came back in, he saw Mordecai on top of Esther's bed, on top of Esther. Thought he was trying to take advantage of Esther, much like the king had done years prior. And he just lost it. What happened to Haman?
He died.
He was executed by his own.
So-
He built gallows to hang Mordecai and all the Jews, and then the king found out, and then so he got hung on his own gallows.
Haman was hung on his own gallows. Wow. Poetic. And then what happened?
And then
It's,
wasn't able to renege on this because he had put his signet ring on the edict, and
So you're saying it was an executive order?
it was an executive order and it couldn't be taken back.
Okay.
But he put another order out that the Jewish people could defend themselves without any kind of retribution or anything.
Yes, and that's exactly what we did. So the day did come. That day was chosen. The day to attack the Jews was chosen by Lot. Lot.
It's like
Oh.
gambling.
Purim. It's like gambling, right? Purim means Lot. That's why the holiday is called Purim. And so the day was chosen, and instead of, we were just being slaughtered left and right, which unfortunately history tells us happens, we were able to defend ourselves, and we fought back, and we were very successful. So successful, it was extended to another day.
Yeah.
And we just killed everyone that hated us throughout the kingdom. It was an incredible victory. Sir.
I know it's probably some form of ancient dice play, but I always picture roulette. Like Haman's in something. It's like, all right, black 31.
It's like the old game of craps they used to play in the 30s, right? So yes, I guess they still play that in gambling places.
I always think of the Imam and Umum and
The Umum of Thameen, right?
yeah. You know those things where they find out which goat to.
The high priest had that as his breastplate.
I picture that as that they got it from that, but it was Babylonian, so
it was very common in the ancient world to have dice and lots and things like that. Sometimes just for games, for fun, as we do today. So that, in a nutshell, a very big nutshell, very long nutshell, is the story of Purim, right? And that's why we celebrate today. And at the end of the book of Esther, it's whoever's writing it, we don't know who wrote the book, they're saying that this holiday should be celebrated every year for the Jews for all time, for the rest of eternity, to remember what God did through Mordecai, through Esther, and through victory against our enemies. So, what had a question, sir?
Alright, I just because you were talking about who wrote it, and that made me think it sounds bad, but she was probably kept illiterate.
Probably.
A woman.
She was a woman.
I think.
Although, as queen, maybe she could have said, "I want to
I
learn."
think that's what a queen position because there was no way he had one queen.
I'm sure she was chief queen.
I think it's just Mordecai wrote it, right?
She can't have some position. She's walking in there like.
Right.
I guess it would depend on the family too. I would imagine that Mordecai would educate his dog,
Education has always been a big emphasis for Jewish families, even
Yeah.
from ancient times.
But that whole story, even if you're not Jewish, will help remind us that if we think that we're up against this huge king or mountainside that seems immovable, that if he can use Esther and Mordecai, he can use us. Not that they're weaklings or anything.
They weren't
But they were
particularly.
individual.
Yeah, they
One
were.
lady.
They weren't these stellar people, right? At first, and then God elevated them at the end.
Yeah.
Mordecai took Haman's place as advisor to the king, and of course, Esther remained queen.
Well, I believe they remained married till I guess they got taken over.
I don't know.
She died at the ripe old age of 30.
Well, she lived a long time.
I think he got. If I remember correctly, I think he got.
Depends on the Xerxes. He probably lived till he died.
Well,
Oh, everyone lives.
They will sell it with gift.
Everyone does live till they die. Joseph is correct.
I was doing research for this thing, a book I was writing about interview with Esther.
Yes.
And
I remember that.
I still have it. I'm still working on
You
it.
should.
And I believe that they didn't live very long together because I think there was an uprising.
Oh, well, I suppose.
I don't think they went into exile. I think they were.
I don't know the archaeological history.
Because I don't think we have the death of Esther.
Josh, which Xerxes?
It's assumed to be Xerxes the First, right?
Yes.
He was assassinated.
Oh, well,
yeah.
So I guess the assassins did finally move in.
So I don't know if they let Esther live and she just lived in
exile or something.
In exile, but like where you're kind of just keep low.
Yeah, I don't know.
I doubt it.
But I doubt it because
She was a member of the royal family, so they probably
killed her.
did away with her or they fled.
Yeah.
How is modern Purim celebrated?
Food.
We eat cookies.
And dressing up.
Oh, okay.
Jewish Halloween.
Hamantash.
It's not Jewish Halloween.
I don't know why we should have Mordetaschen, because why would we put delicious cookies named after him?
So that There is a particular pastry that's called hamantash. You can see a picture of it right here. And they're little hamantash is a Yiddish word that means Haman hats, right? Hamantash. And they're sort of three-pointed hats from like the 18th century, you would see. And they're called that because when Mordecai hung, his hat fell off. So now we eat the hat.
Mordecai hung? You
Oh,
mean?
when Haman hung, I'm sorry, Mordecai hung. He didn't hang.
Oh.
When Haman was hung, his hat fell off, right? So now it fell on the ground, and you're like, oh, now we eat hamantashen because we're eating this hat as a symbol of victory.
I do got mad respect that he kept his hat on to the end. Like you really like that hat.
His big thing was to leave the hat on my head. So usually we have hamantashen pastry, which I think you'll be making this week, to which I look forward. I know, delicious.
She says she'll make them.
Yeah, she will. And they're delicious pastries. They can be filled with chocolate, like this one, or fruit, like that one. They're really, really good. And the dough is made a special way. You're the pastry chef. I don't know about all that. We also traditionally dress up in costumes and have parties and parades. Why?
Cosmic.
Victory.
Right.
Why costumes?
Because it's fun.
Because we don't have a Halloween, and so we get that opportunity to get food and dress up.
Where did the tradition of dressing up in costumes come from for Poland?
I don't know.
Nobody? So it wasn't originally associated, right? Usually it was a day of feasting and celebration. You meet with family. Some people exchanged gifts. But the costume thing was introduced. Are you okay? Okay. I can. We're picking you guys up, so I can hold you one at a time. I'm sorry. So, but the costume thing started in the Middle Ages, when we saw holidays like Mardi Gras, and then later Halloween, and we were like, oh well, we should have something where we're dressing up and partying like that. So we literally just adopted it from the Gentiles, and we do it today. Back in the United States, in the early part of the 20th century, early mid 20th century, we used to have Purim balls, where you dress up very formal and you go to a beautiful area and you dance and you exchange gifts. It was a very formal, beautiful thing. We don't do that so much anymore. Here is a Purim party, for example. So we have hamantashen, we have costumes. The Orthodox Rabbinic Jews believe that it's necessary to get super plaster drunk during this holiday. Benjamin, no drunkenness. We don't celebrate that. It's a sin. That is not good.
If the rabbis say.
It's that you listen to, but you don't listen to your father, the rabbi. Okay.
So.
And they say that you have to be so drunk you can't recognize Haman from Mordecai. Right?
Why? Because you might feel
Because I guess that's how they party. I don't
Really?
know. And there's a lot of passing out and vomiting.
It's
It's
against
just
Torah.
it's against Torah.
Ew.
The Torah commands us do not get drunk.
I trust the rabbi.
I don't.
So you trust me as a rabbi who knows what I say?
I live with you.
So do you trust me?
You listen to
No.
I listen to the rabbis.
Oh.
He only listens to rabbis that say what he wants to hear.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another
That's about everybody in
Luke was also told of rabbi news on off.
True.
Yeshua.
He is a rabbi.
He is a rabbi.
They call him
He
rabbi.
doesn't say what I want though.
The honesty is refreshing. There's also tradition on Purim that you read the entire Megillah of Esther. What is a Megillah?
That's the story. So.
It means little scroll, right? And you read the whole thing. It's not that long, and when we do that, we usually assign roles like your Esther and your Vashti and your Mordecai and your Haman. And during that time, whenever you say somebody's name and they're reading the Megillah, you make a different sound. For example, this right here is called a grogger. And it's Benjamin, you had the grogger here last week. Where is it?
It's upstairs.
Could you grab it? Thank you. What?
What day is Purim?
Purim is 3 days from now.
Oh,
3 days. Oh, it's
So-
Tuesday?
So tonight will be the 12th of Adar.
Mhm.
So tonight was Sunday, 13th, 14th, Monday night.
Monday night. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, that's good because I just have school in the morning, so I can make cookies.
So it's the 11th or 12th. Did I say
Because
the
those
12th?
could be cookies for
Keep it going.
Thursday
Oh.
for you to take.
Oh, today's the 11th. I'm sorry, not the 12th. So Saturday night's the 12th. Sunday night's the 13th. Monday night starts pulling.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Approved 12 months.
But-
We were going to make cookies.
Make them for
Yeah, sure. I teach at a local college, and I was going to take some hamantashen in to the students. They probably.
Probably Tuesday. You'll have to take them.
Well,
Let me see because I have to go shopping. Let me see if I have time now.
So with a grogger, whenever in the Megillah that we say the name Haman, we make loud noises, we blot out his name, Yishtak Shemom, his name be struck out, and we have a grogger, and it's really loud. Oh, he lost a grogger.
I have it in my drawer.
Well, can you clarify? So we can hear. We can tell what it sounds like.
When we say Esther's name while reading the Megillah, we say,
Oh,
because she was so beautiful. She was like, oh, such a gorgeous young lady. Shannon Purim. When we say the king's name, we say, like a trumpet, the king is being announced. When we say Mordecai's name, we say,
Whoa!
yeah, whoa, yay, whoa. That's wasn't it that cartoon?
Regular show.
Regular show. Yeah, kind of regular show.
That dude wasn't jobless, right? That dude probably worked. So you think his boss went up to him and said, Mordecai, convince your uncle to, or cousin, to save the Jews or you're fired.
Excuse me.
I don't do you.
You have to know regular show, but there's a character in there called Mordecai. But when we read it in the Megillah, we're like, yay, Mordecai. And we do this, it not only keeps us involved in the story, but it reminds us the essence of the story, right? There is good, there is bad. The good will always win, although it sometimes seems bad is victorious, but it's not in the end. And my daughter, I think, is bringing down a grogger. Did you find it, Hannah? Oh, she did. Good. Okay, so this is a grogger, if you're not familiar with it.
no, the cat show.
Yeah, I'll show them and you can do it.
Okay.
So you see a picture right there. They come in all shapes and sizes. This one is literally from Purim, one of our celebrations.
Yeah, basically, like I can believe me.
Yeah.
10 years ago. You know.
And they gave us bags of goodies and things. And you grab it like this and you spin it around really fast. So every time you say, hey man, what?
We don't like
Yeah,
it.
boo. Boo. Hey man, boo. Got the record.
He's not gonna get it. If you can keep it in your hands.
My oldest son, strong, intelligent, did not know how to do the ground. There we go. Yeah, it's really obnoxious. Now imagine a room of 500 people doing that. So it's loud.
I didn't know that was happening, so I'm going to get really annoyed this time.
There we go. So that's Purim as we celebrate it today. And again, it all harkens back 2,500 years of God victoriously delivering his people. So that brings us to the end of this final point. What are the spiritual modern implications of Purim?
Things may look bad, but it won't end bad.
What was Haman's name, by the way? Do you remember the Haman's name?
Haman, we don't actually know for sure.
Okay.
But some things it comes from a pausing word meaning destroyer.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
That's funny.
It can also come from a Zoroastrian god or a demon. Sorry.
Well, that would make sense.
Destroyer, you said?
Okay. So why Purim today? Why so celebrated? We're not getting drunk. That's against the Torah. But we do celebrate. We do have delicious pastries. We read the Book of Esther. We watch the movie that Hannah likes, or the VeggieTales. What is the spiritual lesson that God is trying to share with us by this holiday that he did not ordain, but he certainly caused to happen in the history of our people?
Basically, no matter what happened, the Jews are going to be okay.
Yeah, basically.
Yosef, I could not have said that better myself. I think it's Rabbi Yosef from now on. Yes.
He's right. You know what? Like, we're here, right? So
The Jews will be fine. No, the Jews will be alright. Well, you're not paying attention to what I said.
I think also too to add to Joe, which is totally right. There will always be a remnant, but also to the faithfulness of God. You know, no matter how we are as a people, God will always keep his word. Always
That's a good point.
be there for us. He'll always protect us. There will always be a remnant of Jews, no matter how many people hate us, how many people try to wipe us off the face of the earth. There will always be a remnant of Jews because they're God's people. And God has chosen them to be part of the biblical history of this world. And so we're going to be okay, like Joseph said.
Yeah, absolutely. Even during the Shoah, during the Holocaust, while sitting in the camps, or on the trains, or in the shtetls, or in the ghettos, the Jewish people would celebrate Purim. Even if they didn't have any food, even if they didn't have a grogger. The adults still try to communicate to the children this reality. God is going to win, right? Hard thing to imagine seeing the smoke coming up from the chimneys just around the corner. But it's true. Sometimes it seems evil wins, right? In Purim, in the book of Esther during Purim, it seemed like Haman was going to win. And he got that close. But he didn't. Evil didn't. God won. It costs lives sometimes, right? It's never easy. It's a battle, it's a fight. But in the end, evil will never win. Good, God will always, always prevail. That was true during Purim, that was true during the Shoah, and is true today. And it's true during the war we're currently fighting, right? Once again, Israel is fighting Haman. fact, I saw a political cartoon just today that showed the Ayatollah Khomeini. May his name be blotted out. He's been confirmed dead.
Confirmed. Good.
Confirmed. Thank
I
God.
mean, that's
I know we
good
don't
thing,
like
he's
people to go to
not
hell,
going to heaven,
but he is a Haman.
he is the
Who, yeah.
of our century.
And it had a picture of him standing next to a gallows with Mordecai and Esther looking up, and it said Ka Hamani. Khomeini, Ka Hamani. I was like, that's funny. So even in the midst of all that, we are fighting again, Haman, in the same land that we fought 2,500 years ago, and we will win.
Same hatred.
Same
But
hatred.
hatred's
Hatred
still-
of Jews, hatred of Israel, hatred of anything that's right and good. This time, thank God, we of course, it lies last time, we have the God of Israel on our side. He will never leave us, even if we are faithless. Thank you, God. Even says that in the New Testament. Even if we are faithless, God remains faithful because he cannot deny himself.
Right.
Thank you, Lord. Number one. Number two, we have a military now, right? We didn't have military 2,500 years ago, not like we do now. And number three, we have kind allies like the United States, who is there helping us out. So we are run out of time. Closing thoughts.
America's not kind. If they were kind, they would have, I think, deployed troops the minute October 7th happens.
I agree, but don't Jews control America?
That must be if Pixar came out.
No,
Like that's what God
obviously
got
not.
there for like 5 minutes and then just flatlined it.
Yeah, that's because we had to move
Yeah,
on.
There's a picture of Netanyahu talking to Trump on the phone, and there's a book on his desk called Allies at War. It the internet just exploded like, see what's going on? There's allies.
He put that book there on purpose.
Yeah.
And Netanyahu was very, very well read. So
I think that well, one, we have to remember never to give up, because even when the circumstances, God is still in control.
Yes, he is.
You just have to surrender to him. If Mordecai and Esther had tried to do things on their own without God, because the one thing that helped them, which was the biggest thing ever, was the prayer and fasting.
Yeah.
If they had not fasted, I don't think that we would have the same story.
So they avail themselves not trusting in their own power
Right.
or the power of their friends,
Right.
but trusting in God.
Because, and that's the
really good
thing
point.
is, you don't have to mention God to know, you don't have to hear that they mentioned God in Esther to realize that they relied on the God of Israel. Because it's, sometimes we get caught up in, oh, you have to say in Jesus' name, or you have to say, oh God, but God knows the heart of his people. He knows the heart of who believes in him. And so even if it's a simple prayer like, please help me,
He sees our hearts.
He hears you, and he'll work it out.
That is very true. Very, very good point. Things continue to develop in the Middle East. I encourage everyone to watch. Yeshua said, what I say to you, I say to everyone, watch. Watch what's happening, right? And he said that in Matthew 24, Luke 21, and Mark 13. So we look at these things, we observe, and ask God for his wisdom. We don't freak out. We don't panic.
This isn't the end of the world. So don't believe
not
anyone that
World
says
War III.
that,
Okay.
the Antichrist is coming tomorrow. Or get your, buy your $1 million house and then get ready to be raptured.
Yeah, it's so stupid. It's another thing that God is doing.
It's a birth pang.
It's cool. It's a birth pang, and that's okay. But most importantly, Purim is coming. Please remember God's faithfulness in the midst of difficulty and tragedy, right? Even if we make our own messes, God's stronger, and that's very encouraging.
Yes.
10 seconds, final thoughts?
I just realized his name is Hey Man.
Hey, man.
A deep thought indeed on which to close.
So you're part of the Simpsons. And only now you realize his name was Haman.
No, his name's Hey Man.
No, in Hebrew it's Haman, right?
Haman.
Yeah. All right. On that note, then, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. A blessing as always. I hope that Hashem will give you a good poem this week, a very joyous one, remembering his faithfulness. The same for you all. And as always, Shabbat Shalom and Shavua Tov, which means
have a good week.
Have a good week. I pray Hashem will give you guys a good week, and you as well. Any questions or comments, please let us know. As always, please like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you get alerted for more material that's coming forth. And if it was a blessing to you, share with other people. That will help the algorithm and get the word out. It will help us as well. So, yes.
We're coming.
It is on YouTube. I hope that you guys please remember to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and the salvation of the Jewish people. Shalom.
Chag Purim Sameach.
Chag Purim Sameach.